Active and passive vocabulary. Why understanding is not enough. Have you ever had the feeling that you understand a lot of Finnish, but when you try to speak, the words don't come out? You might listen to a conversation or read a text and think, yes, I understand this. But when it's your turn to speak, you suddenly feel stuck. If this sounds familiar, I want to say this very clearly at the beginning. This is completely normal. It does not mean that you are bad at languages. It does not mean that you are not improving. And it does not mean you are doing something wrong. In this video, I want to explain an important idea that many language learners are never clearly taught. The difference between passive vocabulary and active vocabulary, and why knowing this matters. Understanding this difference can help you understand your own learning process better and train your vocabulary more efficiently. I will explain what passive and active vocabulary are, why there is a big gap between them, and how you can start turning words you understand into words you can actually use. Let's start with passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary means the words that you understand when you hear or read them. These are words that feel familiar. You recognize them. You know what they mean in context. For example, you hear a sentence in Finnish and you understand the main idea without translating every word. Or you read a text and think, yes, I know these words. Those words are part of your passive vocabulary. Passive vocabulary grows mainly through listening and reading. Every time you watch a video, listen to a podcast, read a message, or see Finnish on social media, your passive vocabulary grows. And here is something important. Passive vocabulary grows quite easily. Your brain is very good at recognizing patterns. You don't usually need to work very hard to understand more and more. This is why learners feel that their listening and reading improve faster than speaking and writing. And this is normal. Now, let's talk about active vocabulary. Active vocabulary means the words that you can use yourself. These are words that you can say out loud and write in a sentence without having to think too much. Active vocabulary is what comes out when you speak or write. For example, when you tell a story, ask a question, or explain something, you use your active vocabulary. Active vocabulary is usually much smaller than passive vocabulary. This is true even in your native language. You understand far more words than you can actively use every day. But in a foreign language, this difference feels much bigger and often more frustrating. Why? Because active vocabulary requires a different kind of work. When you speak, your brain has to choose words, put them into the correct form, and do it all in real time. There is no pause button in a conversation. So even if you understand a word very well, you might not be able to use it yet. This leads us to the gap between passive and active vocabulary. Many learners have a very large passive vocabulary and a much smaller active vocabulary. They understand a lot, but they don't feel confident speaking. And this often results in frustration. This gap, however, exists for a reason. Most language learning includes a lot of input. Listening and reading are the main activities, but output, meaning speaking and writing, is often much less practiced. Understanding trains recognition. Writing and speaking trains recall. Recognition is easier than recall. It is easier to recognize a word than to produce it yourself. Another reason for the gap is fear. Many learners avoid using new words because they are afraid of making mistakes. So they stay with safe, similar words. This is very human. But over time, this means that new words stay passive and never become active. There is also a very common myth in language learning. The myth is that if you understand enough, speaking will come eventually automatically. Understanding is necessary, but it is not enough on its own. Speaking does not appear magically just because you listen more. Active vocabulary needs active training. Think about it like this. Listening to music does not automatically teach you to sing or to play an instrument. In the same way, listening to a language or reading something in a new language does not fully train speaking. So, how do you train active vocabulary? The goal is not to learn simply new words. The goal is to use fewer words but more deeply. Instead of trying to activate everything you understand, choose a small number of words. For example, choose 5 words. Then work with those words. Write sentences with them. Say those sentences out loud. Use the words in different situations. Writing is a very good bridge between understanding and speaking. When you write, you have time to think. You can slow down. Try writing simple sentences. They do not need to be perfect. The important thing is that they are your sentences. After writing, read the sentences out loud. This helps to connect the word to your voice and your mouth. Even speaking alone is real practice, and many people do not do this, or at least they do not do it enough. Another important point is repetition. Using a word once is not enough. Active vocabulary grows through repeated use over time and in different contexts. And finally, allow yourself to use simple language. Simple sentences are not a failure. They are training tools. Many learners, especially beginners, make the mistake of trying to construct too complicated sentences that they are not yet familiar with. Accuracy and complexity come later. Now, let's talk about mindset. If you feel that you understand Finnish but cannot speak as well as you want, this does not mean that you are stuck. It means you are standing between passive and active vocabulary, and understanding is progress. Listening is progress. Reading is progress. But if your goal is to speak more freely, you need to add active practice on purpose. Not more hours, not more materials, just more intentional use of words. Let's summarize. Passive vocabulary means words you understand. Active vocabulary means words you can use. Passive vocabulary grows somewhat naturally. Active vocabulary needs more training. The gap between them is normal and it can be reduced. The gap does not disappear after a few practice sessions, and it will never disappear fully. Even in our native language, we have this same gap, but it rarely bothers us so much. In a foreign language, you can practice reducing the gap between active and passive vocabulary slowly and calmly by following these tips of this video. Now, let's do it together. Here's a word. Monimuotoinen. Do you know what this word means? If not, perfect. It's a B2 word and you don't have to know it yet. But believe me, soon you're going to remember it. It means diverse. Already at this point, you may be able to recognize this word when you see or hear it next time. It means that it's in your passive vocabulary now. But now we are going to drill it into your active vocabulary. Pay attention to the pronunciation and repeat after me. Monimuotoinen. Again. Monimuotoinen. Now let's look at the word itself. If you have studied Finnish before, you may recognize the word moni, meaning many. If you have a wide vocabulary, you may recognize even the word muoto, meaning form. And the word ends with inen. That is a very common way how adjectives end. We can use the inen suffix as a derivation to form adjectives out of nouns. But you don't really have to know all this. My point is that when you are actively learning new words, it's helpful to think what other words that you know look like this word. They could be words of the target language, like in this example, or they could be even crazy associations between your mother tongue and the new word. Let's take an example from our common language, English. What does the sound or the spelling of this word bring to your mind? I came up with monsoons. The 3 first letters are the same, and this already helps a bit in remembering. You know that the 3 first letters are the same. Monsoons, monimuotoinen. But how can we connect monsoons with the idea of diverse? Monsoons bring diverse problems. If you remember the word muoto and that it means a form, your mnemonic could be monsoons bring diverse forms of problems. It's okay to have mnemonics that sound silly and even illogical for the rest, as long as they help you to remember. I have used this technique when I've been learning new languages and I struggled to remember new words. After you came up with a mnemonic, write the word down and say it out loud again. I mean the target word that you have. In this case, monimuotoinen. Now pause the video, write down monimuotoinen, and then repeat after me. Monimuotoinen. Now, turn your paper or your notebook around, don't look at the word, and take another piece of paper. Can you remember how to say diverse in Finnish? Write it in the paper. If you can't remember it, it's okay. No problem. Then, let's repeat the process. Now, look at the word again. Monimuotoinen. Say it out loud. Alright, now, don't look at the word. You are doing great. Keep up the good work. Okay, now, with another piece of paper, saying it out loud or in your head, without looking at the paper that you just wrote on, can you remember how to say diverse? Now, what was the mnemonic again that you had? Okay, well done. Good. So you are progressing. Congratulations. Now the word is in your active vocabulary and you can use it. Now the next step is to write your own sentence with this word. You can do it by writing it in the comments. And if you still can't remember what the word was, then you just repeat this process as many times as you need to. Honestly, sometimes it has taken me like more than 5 times, maybe even up to 10 times, to repeat the same word over and over again because I just can't remember it. If it's a very long and difficult word or there are difficult letter combinations, it's completely normal that it takes time. But when you take this time to practice the words in an active way, you will start to notice the difference. Suddenly you will notice that actually you are able to use them way more than before, and actually you can even use them in your speech. What helps you to remember the word monimuotoinen? Write your mnemonic in the comments and write also your example sentence with this word. If this video helped you understand your own learning better, you can like it or share it with someone who feels stuck in their language learning. And if you want more videos about learning Finnish, feel free to subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye!